Hello, my name is Latoya Solman, and for those who don't know me, I am a news anchor in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I'm more than that. I'm also a person who deeply and truly cares about people, who wants to serve in any way that I can possibly. And so I'm taking this time out on this Sunday as we're all probably sheltering in place during this pandemic to try to help in any way that I can. Just some of the things that I know and some of the things that I'm actually going through myself and using that to help others. So I was sitting on my couch and I was watching a video from my gym, and it was one of the trainers showing us some at home thing. And just seeing her lovely face, she's one of my favorite ones. I have to be honest, I kind of started tearing up. Okay, not kind of. I teared up. And it kind of shocked me because I was like, oh my gosh, of course I miss going to the gym. It's something that I'm very passionate about, health and wellness, and I literally go 5 times a week. I worked out 5 times a week this past week, which I'm very proud of myself because that was hard to switch to doing it at home and going outside and running and blah, 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 even though running used to be my first love. So anyway, I'm sitting there literally choking up, watching this trainer, this coach, show us some exercises. And I was like, wow, if I'm feeling this way, surely other people are feeling this way. Now, granted, I am for this shutdown. I believe that it is my American duty to try to protect my brothers and sisters and my neighbors, whoever may be having an issue with their health. I don't want to get them sick in any way. I'm also going to work every day. It's a little different. We've moved to single anchor shows. I stay in an office all day instead of going into the newsroom, and so I'm really not around my coworkers as much, but I do have some interaction with humans. So I say that to say, if I'm sitting there and watching my coach and I start tearing up, I can't imagine what people are going through who don't get to go to work, even in a limited capacity, who are now out of work, who, maybe didn't think any of this was necessary in the first place. And I can't imagine. I'm sure you're like, bouncing off the walls. And that's normal because we get used to human interaction. We kind of need it. We need that touch, that feel, and to have other people around us. So I get it. But I also want you all to use this time to take stock of your lives. Take some inventory. Think about what you were doing prior to the shutdown, right? The temporary shutdown, because it's temporary. Think about what you were doing and take stock in that. Was it honoring your life? Was it doing what you fully were supposed to be doing? Here's why I want you to do that, because this is teaching us that life is fragile. We don't know what tomorrow may bring. We don't know, what the future holds for us. And we don't have a lot of time on this earth, It's not a dress rehearsal. It's this one life, and it's what are you going to do with that one life? And sometimes we get stuck in the mundane. Sometimes we get stuck with going to work, getting up, going to work, coming home, eating dinner, going to sleep, doing it over again and again and again and again and again. Or you could be like me and you're too scheduled, you're overly scheduled, you're stretching yourself thin, and so you're not really taking time for self-care and for thinking about the things I just asked you. Is it serving you? Is it doing your purpose? Is it fulfilling you? And you just go from meeting to meeting, task to task. I mean, you should see my planner. And yes, it's an old school planner. I like to write it down. But that to-do list is crazy. And so, I'm taking stock as I'm asking you guys to do, and I'm looking at some of my stuff, and some of this stuff seems so mundane. And some of that stuff that kept me up at night, that I was so concerned about and so worried about, guess what? They're postponed. So I did all of that worrying and all of that work literally by myself, and was shouldering all this responsibility for something that's not even going to happen right now like it was supposed to. So that made me get to thinking too, you still want to work hard. You still, if you commit to something, you want to follow it through, but just pay attention to what it's doing inside here. Pay attention to if it's keeping you up at night, if it's making you worry and complain, or any of those negative things, if it's bringing those kind of things to your life, and then take a breath, because it ain't that serious. And yes, I know that's not correct, the correct way to speak. I am a journalist, but seriously, sometimes you just gotta, use a colloquialism. It just ain't that serious. And so, and that's all proof, because all that hard work has been pushed on the back burner, and it'll serve me well later because a lot of stuff is already done. But you get my point. That stuff it wasn't the be all end all that I made it. So I'm sure there's something in your life that maybe you put too much stock in and didn't put enough stock in other things. One of my coworkers / friends was talking about, staying at home and the wreck that it was putting on. I was like, this is the time to write. This person has always wanted to write this epic book. He's been through a lot. He has an amazing story. And I said, this is the time to write. And, everything happens for a reason. And we don't know what that reason is right now. But for you personally, maybe for you, this is a chance for you to write that book that you always said that you were going to write. Or maybe it's the time for you to start that blog that you always said you were going to start. Or maybe it's that time for you to study that language that you've always wanted to learn. It's not going to, it's not going to take away the sting and the pain of having to sit home, perhaps collecting unemployment and the like. I'm not saying that, but try to find another avenue to put some of that energy, to put some of that stress, instead of focusing on that, because honestly, you can't change that right now. It is what it is. And I don't say that to be cold. I say that as someone who has spent many sleepless nights worrying about things that I had no control over. And you just have to let go and let God and say, okay, I don't know why this is happening. This is painful. This is a strain. This is whatever it is, but I'm going to power through it. I'm going to do whatever I can to try to remedy this situation. And in the meantime, I'm also going to use it as an opportunity to get ahead on some things that I was behind on, or to start some things that I had never started. And so I say that from experience too. I know what it's like to worry about where your next dollar's coming from. I know what it's like to be worried with a capital W about your future and what's next. Think about those things, but don't let it be all consuming right now. Try to also think, hey, I can hustle. There are some places that are still hiring, so look into those. And in the meantime, what are some of the other things that I've always wanted to do? If I have the opportunity to maybe sit at home more than I did before, if I'm not working as much as I did before, what are some of those things? Did I want to write that book? Did I want to help others in some capacity? How can I do that? Start researching how you can do those things, because volunteers are always needed. Trust me, they need them now. So I read this book called Rhinoceros Success. It's basically the secret to charging full speed toward every opportunity. It's forwarded by Dave Ramsey. And it's a quick read. I started it last night, finished it last night. And it just tells you, it's really for people who are like, hey, are you audacious? Are you the type of person to go for what you know? Are you the type of person who, by any means necessary, I'm going to succeed? Do you believe in yourself? And it talks about the rhinoceros and the cow. It calls people who are kind of complacent and people who are okay with, getting up, going to work, going home, eating dinner, getting up, going to work, going home, having dinner. It calls those folks cows. And, cows are grazers. You just see them kind of just chilling on the range and eating their grass and all that stuff. And then there's the rhinoceros who just kind of charges through. And I clearly see myself as a rhinoceros. I need to learn how to say it first, right? It was so hard to say that over and over. But anyway, a rhinoceros. I believe that's who I am. And sometimes we're misunderstood, Sometimes we want everything to go according to plan. We pour our hearts and souls into stuff. We do not half-ass anything. We just don't. It's not in our DNA. We don't know how to do that. right? We're the type of people that even when the boss is not looking, we're still working hard. We're the type of people that always want to be on the A team, always want to strive to do our absolute best, and we want that for others around us. Now, I've always looked at what Scott Alexander calls cows, and I've always thought, wow, I don't know what that's like, to feel complacent, to feel okay with the status quo. And guess what? Sometimes I've been jealous of that. Because I am so ambitious and because I am always striving. And so I would look at those people and like, man, they're so content. They're so content with just, kind of doing okay on a project, whereas I'm not okay with that. I want to blow it out the water, and, but us rhinoceros, we need to identify the cows and then leave the cows alone because the cows are doing what the cows are wanting to do. But the rhinoceros, the people who are audacious and bold and winners, always striving to take things to the next level, where status quo is like, psh. So yesterday, I want to help you. I really want to help you go through this arduous task that we have before us, to help you navigate through just sitting and being still for a moment. I want to challenge all of us who are used to go, 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 to once again tap into, are we doing our purpose? Are we doing what we were meant to be doing? The other thing I want to do is kind of just share with you my personal health journey. And I also want to share with you my financial journey, because I think that's just as important. I'm watching, well, not watching, I'm actually covering the news, but I'm also reading and watching other news, and I'm seeing how, the day after some of these casinos closed and other businesses across the country, people were immediately stuck, immediately talking about foreclosure and how are they going to pay their mortgage? How are they going to pay their rent? How are they going to buy groceries? And obviously, I'm not out of touch. I know that there are people who work paycheck to paycheck. I know there are people who are even making a lot of money who still are working paycheck to paycheck. I know there are people who, maybe don't save for a rainy day, or are not saving enough for a rainy day, or maybe in debt. So they're paying their bills plus their credit cards and their car note and all that stuff. I get it. But I also want to help you. I am a certified Dave Ramsey financial coach. And I really do think that had more of us known about how to treat money and how to handle money, no matter how much money we make, that we would be in a better position today. And I'm thankful that Dave Ramsey came into my life when he did, because I don't have some of those worries, praise God. Through a lot of hard work and sacrifice, when I first moved to Las Vegas, I just started knocking things out, and got rid of that student loan, which was a booger. And I had been out of school way too long to still have that bill. So I have somebody calling me, but I'm going to go ahead and decline. I know who it is. They're calling from Chicago. But anyway, I say that to say, you guys, that this is trying. This is hard. This is different. It's unprecedented. It's all those things. But I do believe that in the midst of all of this, the washing of the hands and the covering the coughs and disinfecting everything, which you should be doing already, just FYI, that there can be some lessons learned. There can be some clarity that comes to your life. And there could be something beautiful that comes out of this ugliness, quite frankly. A lot of times for change to happen, you need a catalyst. I believe that this will be the catalyst that will transform so many of us. I truly believe that. It's going to help us be more appreciative of all the things that we have, the communications that we did have, and the contact we had with others. It's going to make us appreciate what we bring to the table. It's going to help us appreciate what we can contribute to society. I truly believe that. And so I hope that you go on this journey with me. I'm going to try to come on and do videos periodically to help people. They'll be on different topics. Like I said, I really want to hit the money piece. I think that's huge for so many reasons. I really want to help businesses that may be struggling think of new ways to try to strategize and make money outside of their brick and mortar. I just want to help people. And with your mental state as well. I'm a person who believes in self-help and self-actualization and all those things. And so there are just things that I want to share with you that have helped me along the way and some things that I've been through. So we will get a little personal. So anyways, I just wanted to just come in and say hi and just give you some food for thought and to tell you that we're going to be all right. I think that we will come out stronger on the other end of this. I think we will come out better on the other end of this. And in the meantime, do what they say. Listen to the leaders, the powers that be, the health experts, and try to look out for your fellow man by making sure you're as clean as possible, by making sure that you stay in so that you're not transmitting the disease. I think I saw it was Dr. Fauci, who's on the president's team. He was saying, we need to act as if, I think it was Dr. Fauci, I'm not sure, but he says we need to act as if we're carrying the virus and that everyone we can potentially come in contact with is carrying the virus as well. So that's what I'm certainly trying to do. I mean, you should see me when I go running. I'm literally dodging people and getting in the middle of the street. And this one retiree was like, "Get out the street, dear." And I was like, well, I'm trying to practice social distancing and keep, my neighbors safe. So anyway, we'll continue to talk. I hope this helps in some way. Have a happy, happy Sunday. We're going to get through it. The sun is shining bright here in Las Vegas, and I hope it is where you are too.